Wendy, baby, you've got some problems. It's always harder hearing it from a friend, so I'll break it down for you and start with the questions like, when did your skyscrapers become the fastest way to heaven for kids hailing from your streets? And speaking of your streets, when did they become more than just gaps between sidewalks? When did they become rougher than pavement? When did the streets become harder than concrete? Wendy, your enemies will tell you it's been this way. We've been dismayed, it's been displayed. Chicago's like the hardest place to live today. But see, we know the facts. Hidden between the cracks of division, violence, and silence, it's unity that we lack. Take a look at Humboldt and Wicker Park, separate from the start. It seems the closer they're together, the farther they drift apart. Now take a look at Humboldt, bold, brave, brash, and stagnant. Established in the 1800 community's roots are static. Then you have Wicker Park, a community fueled by progression. This ceaseless session won't stop till success is in its possession. You see, these two communities have so much to learn from one another. Maybe they can teach the city how it should be governed. We just want to see this soul, talent, culture collision. That's why we've taken on the challenge of unifying division. I'm Reem Fakori.
Shania Jenkins.
Michael Padilla.
Rosalie Gonzalez.
Montserrat Soria.
Barbara Jimenez, and we are
Unify Chicago. Earlier this year, my team and I took on a challenge from the Peace First organization to unleash peace and counter the culture of violence in our communities by bringing together two unlikely allies. Our solution was Unified Division, which has now so gratefully turned into Unify Chicago. I want you all to take a moment and think about Chicago. Now think of one word you feel best to describe Chicago's. Does anyone want to give any of your suggestions? You can shout them out. When finding a solution to the challenge, my team and I came up with 3 words we best felt describe Chicago: diverse, violent, and vibrant. Some, if not most of you, may have come up with the same words as us, or some along the same meaning. But I hate to break it to you all here today, but Chicago isn't all it may seem. This is the real Chicago. Yes, the city is diverse in its race, culture, and income. However, Chicago communities serve as present testimonies of truth that segregation is all throughout Chicago as I speak here today. As you see in the map shown, to the north of Chicago, the population is predominantly white, which is represented by the blue dots. The west of Chicago is predominantly Hispanic, represented by the orange dots. And the south of Chicago is predominantly black, represented by the green dots. In regard to the Humboldt Park and Wicker Park communities, Humboldt Park is predominantly Hispanic and Wicker Park is predominantly white.
Based on the data for Brown University's Communities Project, Chicago is one of the most diverse cities in America. In this graph, the dotted line represents the perfect amount of diversity. As you can see, Chicago is diverse, but very segregated.
With a challenge to unleash peace in our community, With a challenge to unleash peace in our community and a passion to eliminate Chicago's segregation, we all acted as agents of change to elicit peace in our communities by bringing together 2 unlikely allies. Our 2 unlikely allies, as we stated before, are the Humboldt Park and Wicker Park communities, 2 communities on one street named Division, but divided by that same street division.
We surveyed over 150 people regarding the perceptions of both communities. These word cloud represents their views on the communities. As you can see, they're very different from one another. The word cloud for Humboldt Park is much more different than the one from Wicker Park. For example, responder replies saying that Humboldt Park is seen as scary, dangerous, and violent, while Wicker Park is seen as trendy, expensive, and hipster.
Our culminating event, Unified Division, consisted of people from both the Wicker Park and Humboldt Park communities. They came together on a common ground, Roberto Clemente High School. Our school lies on the border of both communities. Our event consisted of spoken word performers, artists, community leaders, and local vendors.
In creating Unified Division, we faced many issues, such as finding time to work with each other, contacting businesses and vendors, and meeting with our aldermen and administration. Another issue we faced was that people disagreed with our solution. We encountered people who feared that we were combining communities, but our goal isn't to combine communities, but to change the perspective that people have of one another in these communities. We use social media to contact each other, businesses and vendors, and we use persistence to meet with our aldermen and administration.
In order to spread awareness about the event, we decided to use what we best known as teenagers, Facebook. We used social media to create a Facebook page called Unify Division. This page allowed us to connect with larger audience and to create an event where people knew about our mission in hopes to unite Chicago.
In case you have never been to Chicago, the weather is unpredictable. This caused us to change our event from being outside to changing it to our gym. We had multiple vendors from both communities donate food. We also had different organizations come and show support and speak about their services. We also had mosaics for the younger children where they were able to create stepping stones. For all ages, we also had a project called In My Community Wall where they were able to write about what they wanted in their community. They wrote about things like their dreams and hopes and also drew pictures. This event was a success. We hope on planning what we learned and taking it in our next event.
To continue the progress we've made in our city, we've partnered with the Union League Boys and Girls Club. They have many branches across the city, allowing us to reach other communities who are facing segregation issues similar to Division Street. Working with this organization, we plan on contacting aldermen and vendors to plan another successful event for our communities and other communities.
In order to fund these events, we created a GoFundMe page called Unify Chicago. Since winning the Aspen Challenge, we participated in several community events on Division Street, like the Division Community Festival and the Puerto Rican Pride Parade. During these events, we networked and been approached by different organizations and sponsors that have the same goal as us in uniting Chicago and are willing to help us in this journey.
Unify Division began as a solution
To unite two unlikely allies in our neighborhood.
Now it is a journey
We all plan on taking.
In order to unite our city.
To create a better future for those to come.
Thank you.